Were you his only physician when he lived in Ireland?
He's the only physician that I'm aware of, and I think I certainly would have been aware if he had either another physician or even if he had drugs in the house. But certainly he had no sleeping problems when I knew him.
The defense theory is, in the Conrad Murray case, that Michael Jackson was a lost soul, a nomad, if you will, after the trial ordeal in Santa Maria. He was lost and needed an insomniac,
Sure.
needed drugs for this.
Sure.
Did you see this as his physician when he lived in Ireland?
I never seen it, you know, and I never prescribed him any drugs for insomnia. I was in his house on many occasions. I never seen any drugs in his house.
Wait a minute. You never saw any vials of propofol, any IV
Absolutely
canisters?
nothing.
There is another theory floated out by the defense that, in the case of Conrad Murray, that Michael Jackson was very familiar with propofol, that Michael Jackson had the ability, therefore, to inject himself with propofol. What is your reaction to that?
Anytime that Michael ever used propofol with us, it was in the presence of an anaesthetist, and he always requested that.
Was there an opportunity for you to, or somebody, to administer propofol to him without an anesthetist, and he insisted on having one?
Absolutely. There was one time I had to go to Michael's house, and it was a few days before he met the Queen at the opening of Casino Royale. Michael, after one of his other procedures, had an area, I suppose, around his nose, and I don't want to get into too much detail because I certainly don't want to break Michael's confidentiality in any way, but needless to say, he had a hypersensitivity in this area and would require sedation. And I couldn't get an anaesthetist to go to the house that night. I myself could have given midazolam, which was one of the drugs that's found in his body. I could have reversed it with an exit, but he wouldn't even do that. It would seem unusual to me that Michael would go from somebody who certainly did not use the drug that I knew, that wasn't insomniac, that I knew, to suddenly dying of IV ICU-type drug. I think it would be highly unusual for a doctor to use the combination of a benzodiazepine and propofol together outside the environment of an intensive care unit or without having some qualifications in anesthesiology.